Train the muscles, not the joints.
The live workout. I'm going to be doing some incline flies and some presses today, and I'm going to be working into some back and some stiff-legged deadlifts, and I'll be playing it by ear from there. Depends. I might be competing with Kevin right here beside me, so we'll see what happens. I'll see what he's doing, and I'll just copy his workout.
Don't ever do that.
I gotta get some ideas. You never know.
So you guys are seeing that I'm doing a hybrid between a fly and a press here. So it's more of an arcing motion that I'm doing, although in this angle it doesn't quite look quite like a fly, but it is a fly. I assure you I'm focusing more on arcing the weight, you know, like hugging a barrel, and I am bending the arms quite a bit, but I'm just trying to keep the tension off the elbows, off the biceps, off the front delt, and just purely use it for squeezing the pec. And then from there, once I hit failure in this, or close to, then I start to change it more into a pushing motion, so I'm getting that extra sort of fatigue or burn in the pec. And you can already see that it's starting to become more of a press as I go. Okay, now I'm pressing right here, see? Totally straight up and down. And I'm just basically hitting the extra fatigue on that chest.
So as you can see, I'm doing some incline flies here with 75s, and then I'm moving right into a press. I did some medium heavy weight for a bench press yesterday, so my pecs are still tight and sore, but they're almost as big as Kevin's here, so I'm gonna keep pumping them up. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do as many reps as I can with fly, and I'm doing the pronated fly, and then I'm going to pump out a few reps pressing, right? Just to really hit that pec part, right? Because I'm trying to really isolate that pec. Feels good, I like that. So, you know, sometimes you can overtrain an exercise. So somebody asked me online the other day, said, should I do the same exercise to get stronger at it? And the funny thing is, when you do the same exercise too much, sometimes you get weaker at it because you're just overtraining the same pathway. And overtraining the same pathway is not what you want to do, right? So everybody will have a different threshold for overtraining that pathway. But if you notice that you start to feel like you're not hitting the part that you want to hit, not achieving the goal you want to achieve, then be open to just changing things up, right? So I'll be changing things up in the workout programs. That's why I'll have the 2-day split, A program, B program, C program, and I'll have other 3-day splits and all that kind of stuff available at some point. But the whole point is I'm just showing you how to change things up, and at the same time showing you how to do it in a way that's responsible. Okay, so obviously it wouldn't be responsible to put you in a higher frequency training program, which is a form of intensity, and then keep the same intensity on the weights. That would be just looking to injure somebody, you see. So there's a reason why I have the rep ranges where I do, and why I apply certain principles to the frequency training. Okay, next set here. Some good stuff right there. It's good. I feel a lot of chest a lot of chest being pulled, you know, and yeah, I can only get a few reps out of the presses after, but the great part is that I'm really making sure that the chest is hitting failure, not the front delts primarily, right? So for those of you delt lifters out there, this might be something to try, you know, you do the flies first and go right into a press. Let's do some back.
So here when I come up with the weight, I'm doing quite a wide grip, okay? And for me anyway. So because my grip is wider, my arms will look a lot more bent because that's what's required to keep that stress off the bicep for me. Now, if I go narrower, I can get away with straightening the arm more and keeping that stress on the back, but you're gonna have to feel your way through this. But the bottom line is when I'm going wider, if I straighten the elbows out, it doesn't add any more tension to the back. If anything, it takes the tension off the back and then transfers it to the elbows or to the bicep. And ultimately you don't want to transfer this stuff to the elbows or to the shoulder joint itself because that's when the stress on the joint comes, right? So I'm trying to keep it on that lat.
God, that feels good today. Feels good. Okay, so on pull downs, you may notice that if you keep the elbows in slightly, you will feel a little bit more of the lat. You have to go on your own dimensions on this, but if you rotate out too much and do this, you know, rotate the arms in when you're coming down, to make sure you hit your chest, you'll just be working your rotator cuff. And the internal rotators are that, which could cause shoulder injury. So keeping the elbows in just slightly may help you hit the lat more. So secret tip right there. I got Nihan behind me, but what I might do is design a workout program for soccer players. He's asking me about soccer players and whether he should be training with the same intensity or what he should be doing, right? So we'll see, maybe I'll design a program like that. One more set of pull downs, then I'm going to move on to stiff-legged Romanian deadlifts. I did some bent over rows yesterday for back and some chin, so that's why I'm just doing a little bit of lat pull downs. Okay, so this is the Romanian deadlift, and I'll do a couple angles of this lift for you. But you just gotta make sure your back stays arched, your knees slightly bent, and what you wanna do is come down low enough that you feel the stretch in your hamstring, in the belly of the hamstring, but not behind the knee or in the lower back. I would remember my wrist straps, but that's what happens, right? Sometimes. But that's why I don't work forearms. See, always gripping the weight. Grippy. So yeah, I'll do another set of Romanian deadlifts, and I'm not going into failure as much as I'd like because the grip is the weak link right now, but well, that's okay. And then I'm gonna do some leg curls because I haven't done a lot of leg curls lately, and I usually do them really light, okay? Some people talk about how light I do them or how heavy or whatever, but it's one of those things where it's based on personal preference, and sometimes, depending on what's going on with your lower back at the time or whatever, will sometimes dictate how much strength you have in your hamstrings or how much of a risk of injury you are in your hamstrings, right? So if your back is slightly out of place, sometimes your hamstrings will be tight. You know, so anyway, long story short, I'm always careful with tight areas like hamstrings in isolation type circumstances. And that's why I go light. That's why I choose to do sets of 15, 20. I've never been extremely strong in hamstring curl, right? Hamstring curl is more the biceps, you know, the hamstring biceps femoris. And I find that I've never been extremely strong in that movement. It always felt like the knees kind of take a little bit of a beating from it and stuff. But it's not like they're dangerous. I find that I do get a benefit from them with lighter weight and then repping out and contracting that hamstring, right? But I never found it's a good exercise for me to do 5 or 10 reps with. It's better for me to do 20 reps or so, or more, right? But that's a personal preference. It doesn't mean it's the way you're gonna do it. Hands are dead. So somebody took the leg curl machine. So what I'm gonna do is some rear delts right now. Do some bent over laterals. Okay. So here we go.
So from there I moved over to some bent over lateral raises, and don't worry, I did talk to the guy that was grunting, and I said, thanks for including that. That's some good family fun entertainment right there I can put in my video. So we had a good laugh about it, so it was pretty good. But anyway, here's some bent over lateral raises, and I like to use a little bit of an external rotation because I'm trying to get some of that rotator cuff in there and some of that trap as well. So this is another one of those examples where I do bring some trap into my shoulder training.
What are you saying?
Where you digitized Dwayne out in the last video.
Oh, was it Wayne? I don't know.
I said, Nihan better watch it because if you get mad at him, pretty soon you'll be digitized too.
Yeah.
Walking around, who is that digitized man?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay.
No idea. All right.
Could you simply say it was just sort of maybe a glitch in the system?
Yeah, something like that. Something like that.
There you go.
Here we go, some bent over lateral raises. And these are the lateral raises I'm talking about in the A and B programs of the 2-day split. This is what I'm talking about when I mean bent over laterals. It's like a slight external rotation, but you can do variations of this if you want, okay? So feel free to experiment if you need to.
So this is the final set of the bent over lateral raises, and usually when I'm doing a whole body workout I like to do 3 or 4 sets, and enough that I get a really good pump and a really good feel in there. And I don't mind rounding the back just a little bit because I am using some light weight here, but ultimately, yeah, if I was going to be doing any sort of real weight such as heavy bent over rows or anything, I'd say you definitely should make sure that the back is arched. So if any of you guys are wondering that's why. This is just super light, so it's easy. It's kind of like almost like rest, I'm kind of leaning back and I'm almost leaning on my quads there, so it's not so hard on my lower back.
What's your secret?
What's that?
What's your secret to being better than Wayne in every way? I know what it is.
What is it?
It's more granola bars.
It's the granola bars. Every break.
Less time on
bar.
Tinder, more time with granola.
Remember, granola bars is the key.
Okay, good. Just hitting everybody. Oh yeah, I'm doing live workouts. People are gonna hear everybody.
Now, just to explain my range of motion on this, some of you might be thinking, oh geez, he's not coming all the way down, and this is a conscious decision on my part. I'm trying not to come down because I'm trying to keep that stress on the bicep brachii, and because of my left arm injury from years ago, you know, everything attaches a little different, so I'm trying to keep that tension on that area that I want to hit. If I come all the way down, then I start bringing in the forearms, and that's not what I want to accomplish in this, okay? So there is a little bit more motion around the shoulder as well because of the way the bicep is attaching, but I am definitely feeling this in the belly of the bicep, right? So I'm definitely going on feel here. I'm not going on textbook, okay? So that's the advantage of feeling your way through things, because sometimes you may have injuries that you know about or maybe not know about, but at least the body is telling you through feeling and through sensation of how to hit a muscle group, right? So that's what I follow. That's always what I do.
Huh? Not right now, no. On these dumbbell curls, I'm just coming down, I'm keeping that tension on the bicep so I don't straighten the arm totally, okay? So those of you that are critics out there trying to say, oh, why aren't you straightening the arms? It's because I'm trying to keep the tension on the bicep brachii. Now, of course, in this injured arm, or the arm that was injured from 10 years ago, right? I have to keep it a little bit more bent because of where the brachii is attaching on my forearm, right? So that's why the form is slightly different from one arm to the next, but the principle is still the same. I'm keeping the tension on the muscle I want to hit, so that way that muscle is forced to adapt. There you have it. I'm just trying to keep the tension on the bicep. Really push it into failure. Okay, last set of these. Got a pretty good pump, pretty good pull in the last one, so I'm gonna do one more set. See if I can just really go into that pull, you know? And one thing I find is important for me is to keep the shoulders back, right? Keep them locked into place. If you have some sort of instability in your shoulder, you might find also you get a benefit from locking the shoulder in place, keeping it back, and then curling, right? So try that out. Last few don't look pretty, but that's where you get the results, right? The deep pull in there, you know? They don't have to look pretty to work. So thanks a lot for tuning into the real-time live workout. Kind of, not really, but it's a vlog anyway, so whatever it was today. But thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow.
There you go, train the muscles, not the joints. Guaranteed to make your back bigger, guaranteed.